Good morning. We welcome you to this institution, and at the outset we are starting the first session of this program. This lecture is on NBA accreditation and graduate competency profile. NBA, as all you know, is a national board of accreditation, and literally accreditation means recognition and guarantee of the minimum quality. That is, your institution after approval has attained a particular type of quality, particular level of quality, and that is what is guaranteed through accreditation, that your institution is recognized and you are granting a minimum quality of your teaching learning process, your faculty, your human resource students, and infrastructure and other things all together. That is, you are showing a progress on a ascending scale. NBA goes for this accreditation process. This is an autonomous body, and it conducts a visit to the institution. As I told you, this does not accredit the institution, it accredits the programs, that is different disciplines which your program is running, your institution is running, like electronics and communication engineering might be one, instrumentation might be another, civil engineering, mechanical engineering might be some other disciplines. So, like that they will accredit the programs, they will not accredit the institutions, and for that accrediting your institution, a different body is there which is under UGC, that is called NAAC, National Accreditation Council. A process of quality assurance, giving credit where it is due for some clearly visible and demonstrable strategies of academic activities and objectives of the institutions. So, this is what accreditation means, that it assures the basic quality, minimum quality, and they have, the institutions have the demonstratable strategies for demonstrating those capabilities, those objectives, and those results as per the objectives of the institutions or the programs. This is known to be honestly pursued and efficiently achieved by the resources currently available, with the potential for continuous improvement in the quality for effective growth. That is, a ascending, as I told you, ascending trend has to be shown, that you are applying continuous improvement for your efficiency, for your effectiveness, and that is being pursued, and that can be demonstrated that you are in the growth trajectory through this accreditation, or after you are approved by the institution, you are going for accreditation, then you are to show a ascending trend of quality assurance, that you have improved upon certain criteria which are fixed by the AICT and fixed by the NBA board, that 8-point criteria which is there, like the organization and governance may be there, your mission and goals might be there, your financial allocation and utilization might be there, then your teaching learning process, your human resource faculty, your human resource students, human resource staff is also included, then your research and development process, industry institute interaction process. Also, you are to show your capabilities in the co-curricular activities which are called supplementary processes. So, all these criteria came together to make institution accredited by NBA. So, such like capability you are required to develop, and this gives you an identification throughout India that you are an NBA accredited institution. Why should institutions go for accreditation by NBA? What is the advantage or the benefits of getting your institution accredited? You should be able to rate your programs on a national platform to attract the better students intake. Other is that admission problems are there because there is more growth of the institutions. Many institutions are coming up still. There is intake problems also. All seats, they feel difficulty in filling up all the seats, particularly the private engineering colleges which have been established now, or the even private diploma polytechnics also. They also feel this problem is there, that they do not get the number of seats which they are having to be filled up. So, they do not get filled up. That is what the problem which their management keeps on pinpointing, that all seats are not filled up. So, then it just make a cut of the salary of the people, or some infrastructural cuts are there on the costs and something like that. So, they keep on grumbling about it. So, this is once you go for accreditation, that guarantees you that there will be better intake of the students and better quality students will come in. Another objective is to be able to appraise yourself of your own facilities and faculty vis-a-vis performance. So, your own facilities like toilets, etc., bathrooms, toilets, other facilities, their neatness and the cleanliness, garbage clearance and other things, so that it is all spick and span. Your institute is spick and span, nothing is stinking in the institute, and all the things are properly placed and they are on the good order. So, that speaks about your performance as well as the facilities, not only facilities, but the faculty also, how they walk in, how they go into when other visitors come, how they react or interact with them, what concerned for those visitors they feel. Another objective of NBA accreditation which gives you a benefit is, this gives you a satisfied vendor of human capital to world class employers and other stakeholders. So, you are the supplier of the manpower to the industrial world, to the different clientele system, or to the different employers, so that you supply the better trained people, better employees to them, so that they do not even grumble that your students are not that good, they are more theoretical, we cannot allow them to touch our better machines or quality machines, CNC machines, they cannot handle those because they are not trained. They keep on saying, grudging this, that technical institutions are more theoretical and our things are more practical, they do not teach much of practicals. So, that complaint can also be resolved through accreditation process, because that expects you to provide better human capital to the, or you become a vendor to the of the better human capital to the industries or to the employers and other stakeholders. How was the NBA constituted? What is the constitution of it? What it comprises of? National Board of Accreditation (NBA) was constituted by All India Council for Technical Education (AICT) as an autonomous body under section 10U of the AICT Act 1987. AICT was established in 1987 under a Act of Government of India, which was passed in the Parliament, and there is one section 10U under which they can establish an independent body for accreditation. There is a provision under this clause of that Act, AICT Act 1987, and under that this NBA has been established. National Board of Accreditation has been established. How was the NBA constituted? To periodically conduct evaluation of technical institutions or programs on the basis of guidelines. So, this was the basic objective of establishing NBA, that is, they will conduct periodical evaluation or periodically they will be evaluating the technical institutions or programs on the basis of guidelines. Mainly they accredit the programs, they do not accredit the institutions. As I told you, NAAC is another body which accredits the institutions. You have to apply separately for getting A star, B star or a 5-star, 4-star accreditation from the NAAC, which is UGC body, and that under that some people who have got deemed university status or university status, they can get themselves accredited from the NAAC. Norms and standards specified by it and to make recommendations to it, AICTE or to the council or to the commission or to the other bodies regarding recognition or de-recognition of the institution or program. So, its recommendations, NBA's recommendation leads you to recognition or de-recognition or accreditation. The other goals of NBA are to develop a quality conscious system of technical education, which is quality conscious. That is, your job is not only to just intake or should be complete and then you offer a degree after some 4 years or 3 years diploma, but you just take a ownership responsibility, and it is your accountability to the public at large or the parents at least who have sent their wards to you, that you develop a quality conscious system in your technical education system or in the institution, where the excellence, relevance to the market needs and participation by all the stakeholders are prime, the major determinants. That is, they are, you are as a institution or they as institutions, they are responsible, they are accountable to the public at large, also stakeholders at large, which are their major considerations, major determinants which determine the quality of their institution. That institution is a quality conscious institution. They want to improve and they are showing some improvement, continuous improvement, accelerated improvement. What are the goals of NBA? NBA is dedicated to building a technical education system as vendor of the human resources that will match the national goals of growth by competence, contributions to the economy through competitiveness and compatibility to societal development. So, this is another objective, that is, they are to again supply the best of the best human resources and use the infrastructure and contribute to the by competitive human resource, developing the capabilities needed in the students, so that they serve the society as such. So, societal development is their contribution towards the society. What are the goals of NBA? Again, that is, other goal may be NBA will provide the quality benchmarks targeted at the global and national stockpiles of the human capital in all the fields of technical education. So, they are supplying the best of the best quality manpower by comparing themselves with the best of the best institutions like IITs, IIMs, etc., and the best other best institution, Indian Institute of Science and others, that how they are doing and what they are doing. So, all those things will percolate to your institutions, and your institutions can also be declared as benchmarks tomorrow. What does accreditation signify? Accreditation signifies different things to different stakeholders. For the parents of the students, it signifies that their child goes through a teaching learning process environment as per accepted good practices. So, parents are assured of a minimum quality from your institutions once you are an accredited institution, that they are firm they are firm believer that this institution is accredited institution and minimum quality is granted for their child, and they are assured that they are sending their child to the best of the best institutions or good quality institution. For the students themselves, what does it signify? It signifies that the student or their parents expect and their students also expect that the student says or believes that he has entered the portals of an institution which has the essential and desirable features of the quality professional education. That is, he knows that the institution in which he has entered, that is accredited institution, and hence he has entered in the portals of a center of excellence, a institution which is best of the best institution. There cannot be better than this institution. For the employers, perhaps it means differently. For the employers, it signifies that the students passing out has competence based on well grounded technical inputs, that is, the competencies which are needed has been developed into the students which have been trained in this particular institutions. Employers get surety of that, certainty of that, some guarantee of that, that this institution will be providing the quality students to us, because this is accredited institution. So, that accreditation also helps in just giving a belief or a trust to the employers that the students which will be supplied by the institutions, engineering colleges, polytechnics or management institutions, they are the best of the best people. For AICT itself, it signifies that institutions' performance is based on assessment through a competent body of quality assessors, with of strengths and weaknesses emanating as a feedback for quality or policy making. That is, AICT get assured that they are having an institution or number of institutions which are accredited, and those institutions are having these qualities or these strengths, these weaknesses, and they can take a feedback from those institutions what sort of technical education AICT is leading, and that helps them in making better policies for the country as a whole. So, they get a feedback from the institutions when they are accredited. They know that this type of institutions are there in our country, these many are accredited, these many are not accredited. They are talking about approved institution or they are talking about accredited institutions, how many of them are accredited, and if they are to talk on the international forum like Washington Accord, or they are to speak on Dublin Accord, or they are to speak on some Sydney Accord. There are some accords like Sydney Accord, Dublin Accord, and the Washington Accord. Washington Accord is for the BTech courses, whereas Sydney Accord is for the diploma courses, which are 3 years diploma courses, and 2 years diploma courses are there which are accredited under, or they are judged by the Dublin Accord. So, these are 3 accords which are existing, and that AICT keeps on looking for when they are interacting on the international forum. They discuss on this pattern that many institutions, diploma institutions, management institutions or technical institutions, BTech institutions are accredited and not accredited, and this is what the state of affairs, and quality is this much, and this leads them to make better policies for the technical education system in India as a whole, country as a whole. For the institution, for you people, when you are in a college, in a diploma institution or engineering institutions, what it signifies to you as an institution, how it keeps your head high. All the people think that yes, We are morally high because we are serving in a accredited institution. So, for institution it signifies its strengths, weaknesses and opportunities for the future growth. That is, they know that what are our strengths, what are the weaknesses of our institution, and what is the opportunities before our institution. They know the SWOT analysis of that institution, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, and how their career will be growing if they stay over in that institution, what will be the promotional avenues etc. in the institution, and what salaries etc. or other financial benefits and other benefits, facilities they expect from this institution. So, those strengths, weaknesses and opportunities you come to know as a individual teacher, that this is the state of affairs with the institution. If it is accredited institution, you think that you can be assured of a better quality, better promotional chances etc. And in a non-accredited institution, there may not be guarantee of the job, even what to say of the salary etc. So, it is better to go for or motivate your college and principals and directors and heads of departments. As individual teacher also, you can just motivate them that we should go for this accreditation, because that tags your career with that institution, and that makes it better. And if once the institution is better, the institution is a second home for the teacher, and hence that provides you better avenues of growth and better opportunities. For the industry and the infrastructure providers, those who provide you infrastructure and industry as a whole, this process of accreditation signifies identification of quality of institution's capability and skill and knowledge. That is, this institute is this much capable, it has this much skills, this much competencies, this much knowledge it can impart to the students, and hence they are, whether they are dedicated to develop a better quality infrastructure, better facilities, better employment opportunities, industry as a whole. So, whatsoever industry is doing or contributing to the society, that contribution comes to your colleges also from the industry and the infrastructure developers. For the country as a whole, it signifies confidence in the suitability for sustaining stockpiles of market sensitive human capital and a pragmatic national development perspective. So, country as a whole also is feeling proud of your institution, because they know, or the people of the country as a whole, society as a whole knows that these many institutions are approved, these are institutions which are accredited, and they are quality institutions, and they are providing a better human capital as expected, that they should know the pragmatic, practical aspects of the engineering and technology. All the students who are admitted in these institutions, they guarantee the minimum quality which is expected by the society as a whole. So, country as a whole means society as a whole. For the alumni of your college, it signifies attachment through the pride of passing out with credentials, that for alumni, that is their alma mater. Whensoever they come back for the meetings etc., which you call the alumni meetings, invite those people. They are the employers, they are the helpers for you to get employment, to get the job, the on the job training also, when you want some training seats. So, your students who are employed in the industry, they keep on coming to you, and you keep on holding the meetings regularly in your institutions. When they come over, they interact with the students, and they feel proud, and they give a word of caution or give a word of advice also, that this is what is to be done, this is what is expected by the industry, this is how you should develop the institution. So, once you have this accredited institutions, they also feel proud, and they say that this student is coming from my institution, which is having better credentials. or this student is passing out with the better credentials from a better institution, which is my institute. So, that advantage is also served. What is the difference between AICTE approval and NBA accreditation? That is what the same question which you were asking. That is, what is the difference between the AICTE approval and NBA accreditation? Approval of AICTE for new institutions or for starting new programs is based on credibility of institutional management and the program providers. What is their credibility? A management has started an institution, what is their credibility, whether they will be able to just lead the institution for a long time of period, or they will close the institution after some time, sell off the institution to some other party, and they will not be able to sustain it. So, such like management is needed. So, that credibility comes from the AICTE approval. Assurance of compliance to AICTE norms and standards, that is, a institution will be approved only when they assure that AICTE norms and standards are met with. Basic standards and basic norms are met with. This many classrooms, this much area is needed for making a polytechnic or engineering college. So, that area, classrooms, basic library facilities, etc., they are met with. Prior approval by the state government and university or the other competent authority, whether those approvals have been met with, they have taken those approvals of other bodies like the university and other competent authority in the state where they are established, or the government has to give approval like town planning people or the panchayat people. If they are in the rural area, they have to give the approval to the land, etc., that they can use this land for this particular purpose for the college, that trust has been built or not, or directorate has given them the approval that yes, you can go ahead with the college because you meet the basic norms which are prescribed by them and the AICTE. Market sensitivity of the program's output to avoid imbalance in supply of the qualified manpower. Like civil engineering was the discipline which was being started by all the institutions previously. Now, it is closed for some time. Again, a boom has come in the civil engineering, and every institution is thinking of restarting the civil engineering in their institutions. In the diploma colleges also, some people reduce the intake, some institutions and just they decrease the institution. Some institutions close the discipline altogether, stop this civil engineering discipline, but still there is lot of, now particularly there is lot of infrastructural development, lot of construction work is going on. Civil engineering people are not available, and that is why this boom has been created, and there is demand of civil engineering. So, every institution is thinking of starting a civil engineering department. Now, there is a shortage of the faculty, particularly civil engineers for teaching purposes are not available, and many colleges like Green Engineering College also, they were speaking that they have started civil engineering course programs this year. What is the difference between AICTE approval and NBA accreditation? Accreditation particularly, we were talking about the approval previously. Now, accreditation of the institution programs by NBA is based on some of the criteria are: number one is availability of the potential for sustaining and improving upon the assessment criteria. So, there is a AICTE approved, NBA approved criteria like 8 points criteria. Those points may be the organization and governance, this may be teaching learning process, that may be human resource, staff and faculty, human resource as students, industry institute interaction, research and development, supplementary processes like your other games, co-curricular activities, etc., are covered in that. Then your missions and goals are also sometimes prescribed as criteria. So, such like criteria, when you hold good, your institution holds good on these criteria, on these points, then that leads you to the applying for accreditation and improving your processes. Teaching learning process is one of the criteria for that. Another thing is recognition by the stakeholders like the end users. End users, who are those? They are the employers, industry as a whole, who are employing. So, they recognize your stuff, they recognize your products, students, pass outs. Institutional products and the community as at large, they recognize your products which are produced, and user recognize your products. They say that they are the better students produced by accredited institution. Then this accredited institution also have the demonstrable capability of the institution, and the programs like civil engineering, electronics or communication or your instrumentation, your electrical engineering, your computer engineering, IT, etc., which programs you are running. So, those programs, institution as a whole and the programs adhere to the qualitative criteria of accreditation. These 8 points particularly, they keep on increasing, decreasing also, there is some points, but main points are these 8 which I told you. This criteria, whether they are meeting this qualitative criteria of accreditation. Then next is the assessment by the peer groups of the NBA experts through a visit to the institution and making relevant recommendation to NBA. So, a peer group, a expert group, a team who comes to your institution, they accredit and they undergo this, see all these criteria and measure your institution on that criteria. All the programs are measured and institute as a whole get measured, because all programs constitute the institute. So, when your programs hold good on this, your institution get accredited, and that feedback from that peer group or the report from that peer group of the experts goes to the NBA accreditation and they accredit the institution. So, that is major difference between the approval and accreditation. So, your accredited institution is a better institution because they have the capability to demonstrate, and a recognized institution because the peer group has recommended your institution for accreditation. That report holds good for just a long period of time, because you may get a copy of that under the RTI Act also, that what recommendation the committee has given regarding your institution, and that you can display in your institution if it is the best report given by them. So, that gives a lot of credibility to your institution. What is the composition of the visiting team? How it is comprised of, or how it is constituted, what is the number of the people? As our director, Dr. Dave was also telling that there may be 2 experts from each program. If it is electronics and communication, perhaps 2 people will be from, 2 experts will be from electronics and communication. One may be professional from the industry, other may be the academician who is a renowned academician. One person will be the chairman who is a renowned person all over India, acclaimed person. He may be from Indian Institute of Science or IITs, and the experts may be drawn from the neighboring states particularly, or they may be from the other region, but neighboring states particularly, because they know the institutions. People who are associated with your institutions, they are not made members of that, even if they are coming from the different states, but they somehow or other they are associated with your institution, they will not be made members. They are senior academicians, they are the engineers, and they have the high standing in the profession of technical education. The team of the above is selected from the neighboring research institutions or academic institutions or even the industries. States other than the state in which your institution is located, that is a prime condition, that is the person will not be from the same state in which you are located or institution is located. Experts themselves withdraw from the accreditation exercise if they are involved with the institution in other capacities such as advisor, consultant, researcher, etc. Then they should or they are asked to withdraw from the committee even if their number figures into the committee. Chairperson of the committee or the team is the chairperson. Once the accreditation team is constituted, is an autonomous authority above all the team members. There may be 10, 12 team members because there may be 10 disciplines. So, you applied for all, there may be team of 20 people, 20 members coming, and there will be one chairperson or chairman, and the person is autonomous authority in himself only, outstanding personality, who has the overall responsibility for the visit, at the end of which to prepare the consolidated team report for submission to the sectoral committee. One sectoral committee there of the NBA, AICT, and that committee, that chairman and the team will submit the report to that sectoral committee for evaluation. If that committee accepts it, only then your institution get the accreditation. What is the composition? Again the program experts. The program experts, as I told you, are responsible for assessing the individual programs with reference to the criteria laid down for the accreditation of the undergraduate or postgraduate programs or management programs or diploma programs. How the assessment is done? The chairperson and the program experts, in consultation with the institution, agree to details of the visit based on the NBA guidelines. So, NBA has certain guidelines which is there in the web also. When you are to go for it, you have to purchase a priced publication which are guidelines of AICT or NBA. A priced publication is there, in which form is also there for making an application, in which you have to, that is the essential, initial and essential form. Before you go for it, you have to make an application. So, those guidelines etc. are all given in that handbook which is called the NBA guidelines for accreditation. The team carries out physical verification of the infrastructure, infrastructural facilities, records or the data regarding the program, interviews some of the faculty members, some staff members, some students or group of students from different disciplines. They will ask that give us some students who can represent your college. They will take them to a different room, a classroom, where they will be asked a few questions. Interaction is done by the team. Some alumni, as our director was also pinpointing it, alumni members you have to invite to your college, that you come over and tell about our institution to the team, interact with the team. Some people may be invited from the industry and community also around, that how your college is doing, whether you are not creating anything which is harming the society as such, that you are not spoiling your land, their landscapes, or you are not creating noise pollution or some other problems due to students. They may be notorious sometimes and may be disturbing the community as such, and that what feedback the community gives or the leaders of the community gives. So, some sarpanches or panchayat people, they can be invited to interact with the team, or they may ask that you invite some leaders of the community also. We want to interact with them also, some shopkeepers, some people from the village also, if it is based in a rural place, in a village or the city as a whole. Any other activity deemed necessary and ensure the transparency. To ensure the transparency, all these interactions between the different groups of the stakeholders is done by the NBA experts or the committee or the team of the experts and the chairperson. What is not the purpose of accreditation? What is not the purpose? Not to find the faults with the institution, but to assess the status ante of the performance. They are to not to police it, not to do the policing work, but they are to not only to inspect, but they are not to denigrate the institution, not to say anything bad about the institution or about the program as such, but they are to evaluate it, and if they want they can make some suggestions, but that also will be made by the committee as a whole, not the individual member is not supposed to make the recommendations while evaluating. They are to evaluate it, whatsoever record they ask, he produces those records, data, and they will evaluate, read that, and then the chairman will be given those discussed, chairman will discuss with the committee members, other committee members sit together daily, they sit together in the evening and they finalize certain things which they have inspected on that day. Not to first thing is not to denigrate the working style of the institution and its programs, but to provide a feedback on the strengths and weaknesses of the program as such in the institution. Not to demarcate the boundaries of quality, but to offer a sensitizing process for continuous improvement in quality provisions. Not to select only institutions of national excellence, but to provide the benchmarks of the excellence and identification of the good practices. The accreditation process has been developed as a sensitive tool for quality assurance in technical education, because without it, it is not possible to sustain the present institutional growth rate and ensure the maintenance of creditable programs or credible programs. What happens if there is no accreditation? If you do not want to go for it, or if you do not go for it, what will happen to you, what harm it can do to you, or what you will be lacking in that regard if you do not want to, if you decide not to go for accreditation. It is necessary to correct existing imbalances in the generation of the quality technical manpower. Second is, it is to ensure that the institute indeed has and is likely to have in the future or the near future the necessary resources for qualitative technical education. It is to ensure that the institutional products meet industry requirements, what are acceptable human resource in the global job market sector. That is not only in the industry in India only, but all throughout the globe. Those people are employable and they get an edge over others. What is the process of accreditation again? Accreditation of the institutional programs go through various stages of the process detailed below. Number one is the institution obtains priced publications, namely the manuals of accreditation along with the application form. So, once you purchase that manual priced publication, you get the form also attached in that, like the prospectus you sell to the students, it is similar prospects as such of the AICT or NBA, and that gives you the application form along with the guidelines. So, that is a priced publication, you have to purchase it. Second is the institution responds to the two-part questionnaire. In this form there are two parts. One is part 1 about the institution, details about the institution, the data about the institution is to give that how many programs are there, when it was established, how much intake in different programs, and what is the data for the last 3 years particularly they are asking for. Part 2 of the forms of this form is about the individual program. So, how many programs you want to accredit or apply for accreditation, you have to mention about those programs, their details, their data, that like electronics and communication you want to apply, then you have to give the program detail, that these are the labs, these are the equipments, these are the essential equipments, these are whether these things are available, how many students how many students pass through distinction, etc. So, regarding that program, you have to fill up the details in that second part of the format. Then there is NBA Secretariat, which scrutinizes the application. Once your application goes to them, goes to the NBA, it goes to the NBA Secretariat, and that Secretariat scrutinizes the application for adequacy of the information, its relevancy, and the prima facie eligibility for accreditation. Whether you are prima facie eligible for accreditation, hold good for the accreditation, whether team should be constituted and sent to your college, or you are not eligible, your application may be rejected. So, that seeks suitable data for suitable data, and then they fix the dates for the visit by the accreditation team. Accreditation team is constituted under chairmanship of some eminent personality, and that team asks for that these dates will be, the people will be coming, whether these dates are suitable to you. So, make the arrangement if suitable. If there is some changes needed, please tell us. So, team will just arrive on your campus on such and such dates. Constitutes the accreditation team is constituted by the board, and that is sent, and that prepares the brief for the members of the team, that this is what is to be done by different members. This member will be, these two members will be accrediting this discipline, these two members will be accrediting this discipline. So, they divide the responsibility of the accreditation team and their members, and the chairman at the top is assigned the responsibility to prepare the final report. Next step is accreditation team visits the institution and makes the recommendation. You are to make the hospitality arrangements. They clearly say it, that hospitality you have to make for the members, their lunches, their dinners, their stay arrangement, and their even transport, etc. You have to manage that as institution, and then that team will visit, scrutinizes things. 2-3 days they may stay in your institution, in the hotel, etc., where you arranged for their accommodation, and you are to provide the basic amenities to them, and they will make the recommendations at the end of their visit. The team recommendations are presented to the sectoral committee. Then this committee's or the team's report goes to the sectoral committee, which is constituted by AICT. The NBA considers the recommendations of the sectoral committee. Finally, NBA considers what sectoral committee has said about the report of that committee or the team under the chairmanship of eminent personality. That comes to the sectoral committee, and sectoral committee recommends it to the NBA that whether the institution should be accredited or not. The results are placed in the Executive Council of AICT for information. So, these results, which whether the institution is accredited or not by the NBA, what is the recommendations, and that is those minutes also go to the Executive Council of the AICT, and the results are notified and published in the directory of the accredited programs of the institutions. So, accredited programs, there is a separate directory. These are the accredited programs in the country, and if you click on the internet, you get the names of the accredited institutions. So, though that directory is published and that directory is available from the AICT, like the approved institutions directory is available, that these are the institutions approved by the AICT, or these are the institutions accredited by the NBA. Both directories are available. So, that directory publishes your institution's name also, that also figures into it, and that gives you a honor. Who can apply for accreditation by NBA? You can apply for this accreditation if your institution and the programs are approved by the AICT. So, first condition is that your programs, your institution should be an approved institution, only then you can apply for accreditation. If some of your programs are not approved, then you should not apply for this, otherwise that is wastage of money, and that money which once you pay may not be refunded. If at least 2 batches of the students have passed out from the program. So, 2 batches must be passed out from the program for which you are seeking for accreditation. Under the provisions of the AICTE Act of 1987, all diploma, degree and postgraduate programs, even the management programs coming under the following disciplines are covered under the accreditation by NBA. So, following disciplines are like this. These are engineering and technology discipline, colleges, programs, management programs, architectural programs, pharmacy programs, hotel management programs and catering and technology programs. This is rather one program only, hotel management and catering technology. Town planning and country planning, applied arts and crafts course is also covered under this. Now, this is about the NBA accreditation process. Now, we come to the competency profile which we were talking about, that we will be discussing something about the competency profile. A graduate is needed to have certain competencies. Those competencies are listed here. They are 11 in number, and these are given in your booklet very clearly. So, you can read from there, because more details are given in that. Here we could not cover it the more details, because the space was limited in this PowerPoint. They have given the Washington Accord, Dublin Accord and the Sydney Accord also, what they expect as such, as a competency profile of a professional engineer, a diploma engineer or a technician as such. So, academic education is the one competency, that is the attribute needed is educational depth and breadth. Whensoever somebody interviews your students, they will see whether the educational depth and breadth is there about the technical education in which he has qualified, particularly the discipline or the programs in which he has done. So, whether he meets those criteria of depth and breadth of the knowledge. Knowledge of the engineering sciences, second may be after the education, knowledge of engineering sciences is to be tested as a attribute, that is the student understands and can apply the mathematical and engineering sciences and its application. He or she can understand and can be students are able to apply it, or any student is able to apply the knowledge of engineering sciences, that is mathematical and other engineering sciences. Third is analysis and problem solving is another competency, that is third competency which is listed. This is the competency listed by the Washington Accord and other all international competencies recognized for the engineers. So, the person should be able to formulate and solve the models which predict the behavior of the part or all. So, the models etcetera which are there for the problem solving. So, numerical, other analysis, data is given. So, those data he should be or she should be able to interpret and analyze. Fourth competency is on the design and the synthesis. That is, the graduate should be able to synthesize and demonstrate the suitability and efficacy of the solutions to part or all. That is, at least part he should know, but if he knows it all, then it is very good, but he should have that capability to demonstrate the suitability and efficacy of the solutions which he has taken out. Fifth competency is investigation and research. He or she should be able to recognize when further information is needed and or what further information is needed, and be able to find it from the different sources. Further competency is risk management, and that is the person, graduate or diploma holder, understands the accepted methods of dealing with certainty, that is uncertainty and risk, and the limitations of the applicability of methods of design and analysis. That is where the uncertainty is, the person should be able to meet with the uncertainty and risk, because many a times you do not have all the data with you, all the information with you or with the person. He or she should be able, as a professional engineer, professional diploma holder, professional technician, to make out that information, that this is what is the limitation of this data and this is what uncertainty prevailing. Under this uncertainty, this is what the analysis can be. Seventh one or seventh competency is the teamwork. The person should be able to function effectively in a team. There may be some people who may be working in isolated manner, but they don't work in the team or cannot work in the team. So, teamwork capability has to be developed in the as a competency. They should work as a team member, because most of the times they have to work with other people and they should fit in the society. Eighth competition is the communication, that is they should have a clear communication. They should be able to clearly communicate with the students, with the other peer groups, with the other subordinates and other teachers, colleagues, etc. So, these are some personal foundations, that is teamwork and communication. And supporting knowledge competencies are 3, 9th, 10th and 11th are the supporting knowledge competencies. The engineer and society should be aware of the role of the engineers and their responsibility to the society. That is, they should be able to work in the society, adjust in the society and know the needs of the society, what is expected from the engineer by the society, how engineer can help the society in solving their problems. Management and financial competency may be another competency. He or she should understand, select and apply the project and business management principles and tools to the problems. Financial management they should understand. Generally, the engineers in India, they do not understand the financial management aspects, because they are to deal with certain estimation and other things, where the things should be understood clearly. They should be able to project and interpret the financial statements and management principles, which are everybody should know as the management principle for handling different projects. Practical knowledge, which is the essential thing for every engineer, professional engineer and diploma holder, that they should be able to demonstrate the competency in the practical art of engineering in the area of specialization. So, these are 11 bunch of 11 competencies which are recognized all throughout the world, not only the Washington Accord for the graduate diploma holders, but for the other diploma and management graduates also these competencies are recognized, and some are technical, some are managerial, some are personal competencies, some are the core competencies which are to be developed. So, all the 11 competencies are to be kept in mind when you are training your students in your colleges. So, this is what we wanted to say on